People say, Pastor Bob, you wear black every day. You wear the same thing every day. Is that really how a pastor should dress? What is proper pastor attire? We're going to talk about that next on Pastor Bob's Coffee Break. Quit playing church and be the church. We've got some great mugs, don't we? Love this one. Drinking a little bit of not another pumpkin spice, not just another one, the best one. It's our holiday blend. It's for sale now. And you can get this and all of our cool stuff, all of our mugs, all of our t-shirts, all of our posters right here. wearemetal.com. Dear Pastor Bob, what does the Bible have to say about proper pastor attire? In some churches, you'll see a minister wear a stole, sometimes a different color for each week and during Advent. They say that wearing a stole is similar to an officer who wears a police uniform. They claim that it sets them apart as God's messenger, and that a stole hides the human element. Others will wear a suit and tie, and some just wear regular street clothes. Does the Bible address this? And does it really matter what a pastor wears when he preaches? That's a great question, isn't it? And so many churches have different kinds of, dress codes almost. There are some churches where you still need to wear a suit and a tie to go to church. Some that people go in shorts and a t-shirt, and that's fine. And then some where a pastor wears, a t-shirt to preach in. Others where it's more elaborate. And I have a good friend in another country who not only wears the long robe, but in his particular denomination, they have this collar. The collar is huge. It sticks out, it's white, and it wraps all around him, and it's very traditional. And I asked him this question, because he's a long hair guy, he's, all of these things, and yet he pastors a very conservative, not conservative, but a very old church, a very established church with a lot of traditions. And I asked him this question, and here's what he said. It is just a uniform, and I don't particularly like mine, but it's been like this for 500 years in my country, so nobody wants to change it. It would be like the nursing uniform hasn't changed for that long as well. The good thing about a uniform, in my experience, is that it's obvious who the church has called out as their shepherd to lead them. But personally, the best thing for me is that it's a uniform that I can wear and hide behind when things get very deep and emotional, especially at funerals, of which I have a lot. It helps me to remember that I am not just me in this situation, but I am Pastor me. And I have to get it done even though it's hard for me to do. I've heard the same from nurses and doctors. A uniform equips you in some way. That's a great answer. One that I really hadn't thought about. And in some traditions, it sets that person apart, and I appreciate his perspective. He's not a fancy guy. When he takes that off, he's kind of like me. He wears pretty much the same thing. His clothes are limited, and he dresses very, very loose, very non-conservative. But what about that tradition? If it's just tradition, if you're wearing something just to impress people, it's a different thing. I love what he has to say. It's not for impression. It's really his responsibility. It's a sobering thing for him as he presents himself to his congregation as their shepherd. Big deal. I want to go to 2 Peter, and we're looking at chapter 3, starting with verse 3 today. And it says, your adornment must not be merely external, with interweaving and elaborate knotting of the hair and wearing gold jewelry, or being superficially preoccupied with dressing in expensive clothes. But let it be the inner beauty of the hidden person of the heart, with the imperishable quality and unfading charm of a gentle and a peaceful spirit, one that is calm and self-controlled, not over-anxious, but serene and spiritually mature, which is very precious in the sight of God. So we're not to judge somebody by their outward appearance, but our inward qualities ought to shine through louder than anything. And I can't tell you how many times people say, well, I judged you because of the way you look, but when I got to know you, all of that disappeared. I've heard that hundreds of times, and I appreciate that. Because we do that. We judge somebody by outward appearance, and rightly so sometimes too. Because sometimes our outward appearance is very much like what's going on in the inside. But folks, the true heart of a servant of God will come through no matter what he's wearing. Whether, like me, he wears the same thing no matter what. If somebody asks me to do their wedding, I say I'd be glad to. I'm wearing this though. It's all I have. I don't have ties. I don't have suits. I don't even have any other shirts. To be honest with you, I have 3 shirts exactly like this. I have 3 pairs of pants exactly like the ones that I'm wearing. I have 1 pair of shoes. That's all I got. That's all I have. And I do laundry often, as you can imagine. But I've had these pants for 12 years. They're Teflon coated. They last a long time. And I have 3 pairs of them. I've had the shirts. Well, my mom made me buy some new shirts. She said, you know, those are getting threadbare. You need some new shirts. So they're probably only 5 years old now, or maybe 6 or 7. But I don't care. I'm not out to impress anyone. And I'm thinking, you know, I probably should have a little more variety, and who knows, I might. But I always think, you know, it's just what I'm wearing. It isn't who I am. And I hope that you'll do that same thing, not only with people around you, but with your pastor, with the pastors in your community. Don't judge them because of what they're wearing. They may be wearing those things for the same reason that my friend is wearing his. And it may have a whole different meaning to their congregation as it does for him. I hope that helps. Folks, don't forget, you are blessed. So go and be a blessing.